Okay, I think we're actually back. It's been a challenging stream, this one. And we're going to try it again, boys and girls. Open, 3-bet call. To pair with flush draw, it's a good flop of course, but we're playing against strong ranges. In position, the key is to bet when you're either very strong or very weak. This hand seems to be a little bit in the middle. Here we have a funny spot where, of course, we have a strong hand, but aces beat us, a queen beats us, 9-10 beats us, ace-10 beats us, so we can maybe start turning this into a bluff. We have a lot of king-queen in our range here. We're blocking a lot of the queen-jack and king-queen, hands that could slow play. So that's how you find bluffs on boards like this. In general, your opponents are not going to find these bluffs, but when you do see your opponent finding a bluff like that, you should make a little note, and you should start calling your bluff catchers as well. Because usually folding your bluff catchers on mid stakes is a very profitable move. Very exploitable of course, but works very well. Have you thought about retiring or getting into a different career than poker at some point in the future? So actually I've been semi-retired from poker for 1.5 years, trying to find something new that I was as passionate about as poker. It was a very challenging task and I ended up playing poker again. It's very hard to be so good at something and enjoy doing it so much and then finding something else that you're as passionate about. So came back, decided to donate a percentage of my winnings to make it feel a bit more fulfilling. So that's the status for now. Financially I don't have to do it and I'm still doing it, so that means that I really love it, but of course there's jobs that add more to society than poker, so every now and then I think about doing other things, but if I want to do good for other people, definitely playing poker and donating and part of the proceeds is better than doing stuff myself, but it's definitely a question that's on my mind a lot. For now I had my most successful year in poker last year, so very motivated to go at least another year and then I'll make up my mind after that. Here we go, 3 streets with the ace of clubs, a blocker. In 5 cards it's even more likely that you have the flush, so you can go very aggro with your ace of clubs blocker. He finds the fold on the river, which is always nice. At some point the end goal is to have a company that adds something to society and is profitable at the same time. Since I started working with charities, it's a very honorable business, but it kind of sucks when you're completely relying on whether people are donating to your charity or not. So I think the structure could be better. I like to use the example of blind women detecting breast cancer in other women earlier. So now you're helping blind women to have a job, you're helping or you're supporting the health of women, and then you're also helping the companies that can hire the women to detect it. So it's asking for no limp game, which is very fair. If you're playing for fun, it can be super annoying when people limp. Luckily I know my ranges well enough to play raise only. It's nice that we have some heads up action. Betting small and big both fine here, I think. Get check raised, and we have a 9 of diamonds, which is a relevant blocker, so we call. What Monker says about coin poker, structure limp and pot strat, or open a little bit smaller like 3x. Well, you can run a sim for 2 options and then you can see which one is more profitable than the other one, thanks to Monker. Stabbing here is quite nice. Actually 9 and 7 are red blockers, our queens. Very limited showdown in a 3-way check down pot. This guy's mostly betting with the straights, I would think. Seven, 8. Not sure if I like his line, but I'm not sure if this is a thing. I think it's a better hand to 3-bet against one player. Kind of don't want to go 3-way with his hand. But then what happens now is something that we really would like to happen. 9 high flush with the 2 pair, I think is a very standard check. Checking again, we're blocking 3 pairs, so his hand should be very air heavy. Sometimes it feels like people don't bluff enough or bluff you enough. And sometimes it's the case, but it's also very important that you keep the air of your opponent in their hands. I'm going to call this hand, but in general people don't find check-raise bluffs here enough. This guy has a high VPIP, so he's probably way more creative than the average player. So yeah, he found the bluff with 7-5-4-3 rainbow. Okay, so we're c-betting the 9s. Checking back on this board, I think could be something, but most of the time we're betting. When we're betting, we're just trying to stack a 6. We're unblocking the 6, so if we have 9-6, that could be a hand where we want to check back at the higher frequency. Now we're just hoping that our opponent has the 7 to go along with his 6. Unsure how to size here. On the one hand, I want to act like I have ace-9, just turns the hand into a bluff. On the other one, I want to be able to bet thin for value with a straight still and then entice him to check raise with the full house blocker. He'll get the creative tag. And I like to give the stack to people who find bluffs so that I know that I have to call my how do you say, bluff catchers against a player like this. In general, on mid stakes you can just close your eyes and fold when people are applying a lot of pressure. 75% questionable overcall in the small blind. Let's see if we can tear things up at the mid stakes again. That's us. That's us. When you retire too young, what are you going to do every day? Just degen, eat and sleep. The first couple of weeks of my retirement were my most unhappy weeks out of my life. I thought it was going to be a big celebration, reaching the goal that I had in mind for 8 years or something, and it ended up being pretty empty. I lost my purpose, my passion. I didn't have a reason to get out of bed, so I definitely had a couple of unhappy / depressed weeks whenever I quit. And then after a month or two, I set out 6 goals for that year to make sure that I had a new purpose, and things started going better after I did that. But yeah, it was definitely a very big disappointment that the whole "it's all about the journey, not about the destination" saying was very true. Also, all my friends, they have regular jobs, so yeah, you're just there sitting at 11:30 asking for people to to do something, and everyone is just telling you we have a job, so we have a job, so you'll have to entertain yourself during the 9 to 5. I think we're going to 4-bet this one. He's so tight, so we should probably 4-bet a little bit less. He's got aces. We peel with his hand, I'm pretty sure. It's my day, my day, my day, my day. Okay, well, I guess we're celebrating very early. We deserve to get punished here. I misread the stack depth. Of course, usually we're just going all in on the flop there. We're gonna see what day it is today. Tried to getting a for fuck's sake clown from Dutchy. It's my day, Dutchy. A little taunt. I think it's allowed to taunt other professionals. I understand his emotion, but also probably never 4-bet bluffed himself either, so it's very hard for him to understand what I'm doing there. Strong hand under the gun. Get 3-bet. Crazy flop. I mean, yeah, if we were to check back, maybe this one. Another way to exploit people that check fold too much. If somebody's check folding at a very high frequency, you can start stabbing a lot, and then whenever you have a super strong hand like this one, you can check back, but it's very costly if he's balanced. Imagine if he was planning on check raising and then we check back. So betting super small is fine there too. Maybe size even big on the river. We're kind of wrapping a 10. Whenever we represent a very specific hand group, a strong one, we want to size up. It's nice now, we're getting called, but obviously we want to bluff as well, so. Here I check. Trying to take the aces to showdown. This board is way better for my opponent than for me. Taking the aces to showdown, still the goal. Continue with the questions. Lucky Maggie, when you win everything is fine, when things get rough, poker really makes you feel miserable. Then you're probably playing too high, because they shouldn't not impact you too much, the swings. He's betting 30, so yeah, representing 2 pair or a straight. We're kind of blocking ace 4. And I really want to call, so. Okay, this is the classic setup. He's 3-betting 10%, so I don't think there's any getting away from this, but yeah, obviously he's holding aces a lot of the time. I think checks back the turn. I think he's gonna bet the ace himself. Checking back with quads makes a lot of sense as well. Very tempting to raise here, but I think just calling is fine. And that's the queens. Kiropi is betting small again. I think calling is the best way to go here. And this is just the weirdest line ever. Don't think I'm gonna fold, but usually when it's a weird line, it's a strong line. But yeah, like the nut ref catcher here. Very creative donk bet. A lot of things happening in that hand. Raise, call, yeah. Played it nicely. River shove is, it's interesting what he's rubbing there, but creativity. How to rebuy on. It's a tough 10-20 table, this one. It's a board where you can lead on. We're going to bet. We have an overpair, flush draw, and an open ender, so it's 5 cards. It's not like we are dying to get our money in, but it would be okay. That's a very good turn, of course. Here we have a perfect run out. We're blocking the kings though, which is not perfect. Sizing down might be a thing, but I'm going to trust my opponent on being able to hero call. Have you had any serious struggles with tilt in the past? If only we could all be as zen as you are now. Not real troubles, but back in the day it was harder to keep my composure when winning or losing all in had a direct impact on my life. We get the hero call, time bank hero call. Those are the best. Open the 3-bet. I'll buy the 5-card classic. 5 cards. Aces make up a big part of your 3-betting range. Not going anywhere. Open-ended ace-jack, but it's not fist pump stuff. But yeah, going to start it off. Classic bank and pot bet with the top set. Oh, it's a check. Okay. Wow, nice and balanced. Ace king 6-7, interesting line. Balanced boy. If you could do me a huge favor and like the stream before I go, it helps with the visibility. Here we make a very questionable squeeze with trip aces, hoping this guy folds and he calls. That would be the dream. But now we are in dangerous territory. At 20%, still ahead of this guy. Not anymore. Ooh, sexy hand, huh? But we call. I think we check here sometimes. Check raise as a possibility. I don't know, sometimes I'm just freestyling. Then here we only bet full houses, I think. So we size up. With a 10 he has a very tough time to fold straight away. Got one. Get a call. Another king river. Not too sure how to interpret this, but I'm going to go for the whole thing. Calls quickly. King 10. Okay. The run is not in our favor on this 5-card table. And we'll get the results in of the stuff that we played today. Okay, so first we're going to rush and cash the last 24 hours. Collect all the tables. Absolutely demolished the Russian cash thing. Not including a rake, so it looks quite a bit better than it actually is, but include the total as well, including the session we had on New Year's Eve, running extremely hot Russian cash. So yeah, 4.5k. Should do a calculation with the rake, which is 14 big blinds. It's like 30 times 40, 14, 300, 450 times 2. So 1k in rake, I think. That's a ballpark estimate. And then I just lost a couple of big pots at the Coin Poker 1020. So all in all, we're down 5 or 6k. Played pretty good. The viewership was nice. I'll be back next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Drop a little like and see you all in the next stream. Ciao, ciao.